Vinney Chopra, a man who took $7 to a portfolio of over $250 million in apartment investing. He mentors and coaches to make apartment syndication easy. Each week, he will share his expertise, tricks, trades, and golden nuggets how to master the art of syndication to bring cash flow streams to your business, to change your life for the better. Here is Mr. Smiles.
Syndication Made Easy with Vinney Chopra, also known as Mr. Smiles. Mr. Smiles is not only a #1 international best-selling author with his new book called Syndication Made Easy, but he also is one of the top syndicators in the U.S. I mean, it's, from all the research I've done, I don't know anybody that's any bigger than him.
Actually, there are a couple of great ones.
Well, they need to work on their marketing.
Grant Cardone, I want to give plug for Grant Cardone. Okay. Just a great guy. I've never met him yet, but just a great guy. He's close to $1 billion or more than $1 billion. I think Joe Fearless. I will be meeting Joe actually live with Michael Blank's conference right there later part of the month, and he's also at 700 or 800 million. So myself
you're 50 million, so you're not far behind. Well, at least you're the biggest syndicator I know.
Yeah, I know. We just closed the 52 million, so it's close to 300 million now. Plus my partners, Enzo, they have another 200, 300. So total together, we are 600 million. So that's not too bad. We are coming right behind the big boys.
Nice. Well, he's definitely the biggest syndicator I know in the apartment syndication arena. But his story is really unique. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it if you've been following us on YouTube or iTunes or Facebook or whatever social media platform. Yeah, he came to this country with $7 in his pocket. Now, worth almost 300 million? His portfolio. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yes. And we've sold some also, Alicia. I wanted to mention that to the audience because it's great to really buy multifamily or any kind of real estate, single family, multifamily, hotels, and you find the market cycle. And you do want to really observe when you are able to sell them so that there is some meat on the bone, I call it, for the other people who is going to buy. So we are selling some assets and we are very excited about it. Yeah.
And that's actually, I'm going to get into that in more depth here in this episode. So guys, this is, the Syndication Made Easy podcast. It is where Vinney gives his golden nuggets, and this is information literally his mastermind students pay thousands of dollars for. I'm here to get the information out from him for free for you so you can take your business to the next level. So let's get down to business with Mr. Smiles. Vinney, how was your week?
It was a great week. Today's Friday. Thank you so much. And Alicia, it was a busy week, actually, to be very truthful. We just closed on that $52 million deal.
How'd that go?
I know. And we manage all our assets, as you know. So it's been a good transition. We just bought it on June 27th, and now it's July. I don't know, podcast is going to go out a little bit later on. The thing is, within 5 to 10 days, we have taken over the transition and we have collected like $300,000 already. And there are 324 units in this complex. So it has its own challenges, right? We call it, you have to take over of the property means that you have to transfer all the utilities. You have to make sure all the services are kept and the software is synchronized so that the residents can pay their rents online, all those things. So there were a few challenges. And then we are also selling some assets. I was involved in that quite a bit. Last week was a short week,
Yeah.
So I just like to compartmentalize a lot of things. And then also our book also hit the market, and a lot of people are asking me and so forth. Thank you. Thank you so much. So a lot of very productive things, and my wife says, Vinney, you're so excited. I mean, after retirement, you're having time of your life. I appreciate, she's been a trooper. I want to give more time to her. I'm trying to do that, but I think I always believe in locomotive leaving a station. Alicia, what that means is it takes a lot of force. Any kind of investor who is listening to me or watching me, please, please, please don't give up. Do not give up. Be positive, think big. It's going to work out. And that's what it did for me too. See, it took us 11 months to buy our first property. So if you are learning the materials from anybody else, there are a lot of great gurus out there in USA or from my academy. Don't give up. That's the worst thing you could do is to give up. It took me 11 months to get my 11 units. 11 months to 11 units.
I like it.
I closed on 109 units also that Friday with my team. So Monday, I think we closed on 11 units. And then Friday, we closed on 109 units with 101 storage units and all. By the way, my investors made so much money, Alicia. I was just sharing that yesterday with one of my investors. 43.3% IRR on that deal. So if they gave me 100,000 and believed in me, which a lot of people didn't believe in me, and I didn't believe in myself, guys. That's the truth. I did not believe in myself. I told my wife, we're not going to take anybody's money from our family, because what if I do not do well?
Right.
Face them. But now things are different. Lot more coaching is out there. Lot more things are there. Mentors are there, and you can really learn and be under their arm, I say, to crush it nicely. But the idea is, again, I kind of take tangents. The big thing is don't give up. Don't give up,
Okay, so I totally agree with what you just said. What I want to talk about today is the different, what is a buyer's market? What is a seller's market? And what is the difference and pros and cons? So let's start with, I'm going to say, let's start with the buyer's market. I think that because that's more of where we're at right now. Yeah.
It's a seller's market now, because what happens is when the sellers are few, in other words, there is not too much supply, but a lot more investors want to buy the apartments or any kind of, commercial place, or even in the, single family home too. It could be construed that way. So it's a seller's market when the sellers have the upper hand. It's a buyer's market if the buyers have upper hand. In other words, if there are few buyers, but more sellers, more apartment buildings are out there, then we can adjust the pricing down in the buyer's market. But in the seller market, the seller expectations are high because there are so many people who are wanting to buy. Demand is there. They can call for higher price from their property.
So, okay. So what do you do? Okay. So if it's a seller's market right now.
Yes.
Right. What do you do if you're an investor and you want in?
That's a good point. Very good point, Alicia. Actually, see, I couldn't buy anything in 2018 because what was happening was there were few apartment buildings out there in my range, which I buy about 150 to 250 units. There were few in the lower category, like in 20, 30s, 40s, 50s. A lot of my students buy smaller ones totally because that's what they can afford.
Already notes.
Thing is, I know you're right. But the thing is, you got to stay in the market. That's what I teach also in my academy. You cannot be outside the market and hope and pray that you get a good deal. So the deals are there if you build relationships with brokers. You got to always be talking to the brokers. I think in one of our podcasts, we did that. If some of the audience would like to look at that one, And we talk about how every 10 days you need to text, you need to email, you need to, talk to them or email them or fax them. Faxing is not that popular nowadays, but texting is amazing. And
instant message them or
that, right? But the thing is, when it's a seller's market, you got to be very, very observant where you're buying and how much you're paying. You don't want to overpay at all. See, that's the problem. Sometimes people just overpay just to get a product or apartment complex, let's say. That's a no. And that's what I could not do and take my investors' money. I had $10 million raised last year in my fund, but I did not invest that because in my good conscience, I could not find the numbers that I need to get from my investors.
And not only that, if you buy high, eventually this market's been pretty.
Exactly.
We're going to take a dip soon. So it's been high for a long time.
11-year bull, 2008 and 2019 now, right? So 11-year bull, it has to adjust. All the studies are saying right now, what I read a lot and listen and so forth, they're saying mid 2020. There might be a correction coming. But at the same token, I have a different feeling about apartments. Alicia, the reason is when economy shrinking, if the jobs are lost and things like that, the revenues decrease by the companies, they lay off people. Exactly.
They need to come into apartments from houses because they don't have a choice because of their expenses. That is smart. I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
I mean, we need to keep that in perspective. That economy is not going to fall all the way across. I think the parameters in 2007 and 8 were very, very different. I mean, people were giving loans for 105% of the value, 110%. You invested in rental property, you got money back. Yeah. And there was no qualifying criteria at all.
I remember that. No doc loans. That screwed up our whole country.
It really did. It really screwed up, and then the bigger, the fatter, and then they sold these derivatives and oh my gosh, I mean, we don't want to go into all that. But
no, that's a whole other podcast.
It is. I'm not an economist, but I read a lot. But the key thing is we need to keep perspective. When people lose job, it's going to be some of the retail centers will be affected. Companies, when they cut down their budgets, there will be less travel. So hospitality is going to go down a little bit. That's what happened before. And
yes, I remember that because I was working in hospitality and I felt it and I took off to Australia in 2008. At the end of 2008, I bailed. I said, I can feel it. I'm not making as much money. Hospitality and travel are the first ones to go.
They do. They really do. You look at statistics, 2007 and 8, it happened. Strip shopping centers, the small shopping centers, they lose power because if some business is not getting the kind of disposable income from the neighborhood, they will shut down if they cannot pay the rent and so forth. And then the office space also. I had my friends who were telling me that their tenants were asking them to reduce the mortgage, the rent, because they couldn't afford to pay. So it's a ripple effect. But on the other hand, when people lose jobs and all that, they cannot afford the home, they'll go to a B class or A class or C class apartment. And USA is becoming more and more a renter's nation. There are statistics that a lot of people, millennials and the generation Z, XYZ, they are loving to live in apartments, nice apartments. So I have a different feeling that for the next 35 years, apartments, if we buy them correctly, don't overpay them, we would be okay. And we add value. See, that's a big thing too. In apartments, we buy apartments that have differential of rental income, we call it, like the one we just closed. I was just mentioning this podcast, $52 million deal with Enzo Multifamily. My partners, my very good friends. So Monil Investment Group and Enzo joined hands after many years of trying. We really wanted to do that and we did it. And we are so excited because the differential of the rent is about $150 to $175 that they are charging less compared to the market. So just the differential is going to bring the value to $59 million. So if there is a downturn coming in a year, it's going to still weather the storm.
The election too is coming
Exactly.
up. Too.
Elections also, actually market does better around the election time because the incumbent president likes to make sure that the interest rates are low. Interest rates are so low. I mean, we got this interest rate at 3.82%, 3.82.
Awesome.
Where is it unheard of?
I remember the high 6s plus.
Oh my gosh, I have bought properties, Alicia, for 6.5% or 7%.
Yeah, I
and
remember
now
that.
It's 3%. And the new rate, which we are looking at a very big deal again in Florida, and that is looking at 3.52% interest rate. Wow.
Awesome.
I can't believe it.
Awesome. And guys, I'm sorry. I know I was going to talk about buyers and sellers market, and we totally changed the pace on this one. So I want to continue with the sellers market because there's just so much information. So I know that you think, we may take a hit in, single family homes and other industries coming up here. But the apartments, that I never even thought about it that way, but you're exactly right. Because if people either unfortunately lose their job or their home, or whatever it may be, where are they going to live?
So true. So very true. Immigration, people coming in, our seniors retiring and getting into more senior living apartments. That's a pent-up demand there. Our millennials. So there are three forces. They are working with us. Absorption is getting bigger and bigger also of the new units coming into a market because we look at so many different things, right, Alicia? And anybody would like to get my free ebook, How to Determine Emerging Markets, please just email to John, Jon, at VinneyChopra.com. Our website is VinneyChopra.com, VinneyChopra, Chopra.com. And he will send you the ebook. And John is amazing business advisor. And Alicia, also, thank you so much for this book. My gosh, I just couldn't believe that a book that I put 2 years of my life in it, and it's got so many great nuggets that it will be top seller. Thanks to you.
I think, it's my pleasure. And I'll be honest, I've been in this business for 5 years, and I've never, first of all, worked with somebody who has taken the nuggets that I give them and then the assets and taken it to the next level as far as you have. But somebody, to be honest, and this is not me kissing your behind, that I really enjoy working with, and just that brings me up and keeps me on my game. And so I think anybody who's looking for mentorship and they're trying to get into this business or get up, applying for your academy, this is the man to go with, because I'm not even in his academy. Okay. He's not paying me to say this.
Yes.
But he just brings life to another level, as you can see. I'm sure sometimes his wife loves him and hates him at the same time.
Thank you.
With all the energy.
We've been married 39 years. I love my wife, Kanchan, and we've been just so fortunate. 2 children, Neil and Monica. That's why our brand is Monil. That's Monica and Neil put together. That's our brand. And then we are very excited to be very blessed with the grace of God, what we have and so forth. And we thank everybody in our life, our circle, my mentors, everybody who has made us who we are. Thank you.
And this has been a great, this interview was supposed to go in 2 different directions. So it's totally one-on-one, but I think it's completely worth it because, I know I've learned things. I think that the audience have learned things because you always give good content. Thank you very much for that. And then also, guys, so if you have questions about a seller's market, right? Or as a buyer, why you wouldn't necessarily want to invest right now, and if you are, how to do it correctly?
Yes.
please leave your questions down below. You can reach out to Vinney at VinneyChopra.com. All of the links to reach Vinney and John will be here in the show notes. John is also an incredible resource if you need anything. Totally enjoy working with him. And so, guys, this is your week. This is your weekly golden nugget on the syndication process and the syndication business from Mr. Smiles. And I hope you guys like, subscribe, share, comment. Please share this podcast. It's such just for people as an education. This podcast about the sellers and the sellers market is educational for anybody, regardless if you're in the real estate game or not. But if you're not in the real estate game, but you're just going to buy a house. Okay, why would I want to wait? You know what I mean? So does that make sense, Ben?
No, it really does, Alicia. The biggest reason why we started these two podcasts, the motivation podcast and this podcast, Alicia, you are the driving force behind. Thanks for co-hosting with me. The biggest thing, our purpose is to really change some minds. Some people who are investing in stock market, into mutual funds and things like that, or precious metals, cryptocurrency. Please look into real estate. It's the very best way to get passive cash flow, limited partners or general partner side. You can invest with us, partner with us, and also learn from us through the academy. So we are trying to spread the word and give you nuggets so that you could really feel good that we are genuine and that we want your success. We want you to take that next step in your business, in sales, in marketing, or whatever it is, which we can hopefully provide that to you every week. So please tune in, subscribe to us, put notification on, the YouTube also. I didn't know that you could press that button, that little bell button, and then it just shows me now, when a nice content is coming. So that's another way to do that too.
No, I love it, guys. I love it, Vinney. Guys, again, thank you so much for tuning in. We can't wait till next week. Now, I am going to get on him about the buyer's market.
Yes.
We just talked about the seller's market. So
I know. And there are a lot of other factors also, Alicia.
There is. We could probably do a whole nother podcast, but I know you're going on.
So true. And, again, please, there is a lot of information. I also put it in the book. So if you like that, to know about it, please do pick it up in Kindle edition. It's only 99 cents. I don't know how much it'll be, but we want to give it away because we want to spread the word. I'm looking at making few pennies out of this one, but the main idea is to spread the knowledge.
Definitely. All right, Vinney, thank you so much for your time this week. Good luck. I know that you're going into a big event and a big show.
I've got a 10, 12-day trip. Thank you, Alicia. And maybe by the time this podcast comes out, we might be able to put clips of it on the social media before. I'm heading out to Houston 3-4 days, going to Dallas for 3-4 days, then Boston, and then New York, New Jersey to do some book signing, and also meeting with a lot of people, investors, debt partners, to crush it, and excite the whole, that's my passion right now, is to excite hundreds and thousands of people about multifamily and syndication.
All right, guys, you just heard it from the man, Mr. Smiles. Until next week, have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. We'll see you. Bye-bye next week. Yep.
Be sure to listen to Mr. Smiles next week with more golden nuggets and top-notch coaching tips. You can reach him by going to VinneyChopra.com or texting the word syndication to 474747. Be sure to like, comment, and share to show everyone how Mr. Smiles has brought your apartment syndication business to the next level.